What's good, people? It is Tony the Savant, and I tried to tell people, man, this is a fun team to watch. The Colorado Buffaloes. They're a very fun team to watch. But when it comes down to serious football, especially college football, they don't really live up to the hype. They don't really meet the moment, if you will, as they have been eliminated from the college football playoff picture, officially eliminated, and they are not bowl eligible either. And this comes after being in a four-way tie with Arizona State, Iowa State, and BYU for the first place position in the Big 12. And because they lost two games earlier this season to Big 12 teams, this team, albeit it has been fun to watch, will not be playing any serious college football come January. But ladies and gentlemen, before we get started, please like the video, share the video, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel as well. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel as I drop content daily, go live daily, stay very busy on the platform. And last but not least, please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section, as I'm always interested to hear what you all have to say about these topics. And ladies and sports fans and gentlemen, we are talking about Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes, as they have been officially eliminated from the college football picture. Um, and the Big 12 championship will be going down on December 7th between Arizona State and Iowa State, eliminating Colorado Buffaloes and BYU, albeit there was a four-way tie to this particular championship game. And the way that the way that Colorado has been eliminated is the most college football way possible. As like I said, all of these teams were in first place. They all held a 7-2 record in the Big 12. But it came down to a couple games from the season, namely for the Colorado Buffaloes, games between Kansas State and Kansas, in which they both lost those games. And I try to tell everybody, man, this is a fun team to watch. I have a high respect for Deion Sanders and what he's been able to do for these young, up and coming athletes, football players. But when it comes down to the age old sport called college football, you need a little bit more than just the flash and the headlines to be taken serious. And unfortunately, and I hate to say it like this, but it seems to me what Dan Lannon said about a year ago as far as this Colorado Buffaloes team is that they played a lot for clicks and views, not so much for wins and championships. And that's, like I said, there's no indictment on Deion or anything like that. I just don't think Deion Sanders personally has had enough time to build a program like a Nick Saban has, like a Kirby Smart has. And I'm not saying he's just doing the get rich quick thing, but bringing your son and Shadur Sanders, who's a prolific quarterback, bringing a guy as talented as Travis Hunter, another guy who happens to be your son, who's very talented, in Shiloh Sanders, bringing him over to a college program and having a lot of fun, getting some wins and all that kind of stuff. It was exciting, but now we're getting down to the nitty gritty, where the serious programs will be showing up. And unfortunately for the Colorado Buffaloes, they don't meet that mark. But like I said, in the most college football way, this was the Colorado Buffalo were eliminated. With the four-way tie, it came down to the strength of a schedule. And it's funny enough that I should start with the final night of the regular season of college football. All four of these teams in a four-way tie all won their game. So it came down to the intricacies. Of course, again, Kansas and Kansas State defeating Colorado Buffaloes were the thing that eliminated Deion Sanders and his team. The other three teams, Arizona State, Iowa State, and BYU, they held better records amongst. Oh, excuse me. I should say it like this. I'm sorry, guys. I'm jumping all over the place. So these four teams were in a four-way tie, and the fact of the matter that they didn't play each other, I don't think any of these teams played each other this year. They had to go off the common four opponents of Arizona State, Iowa State, BYU, and Colorado. And these four opponents were, if I remember correctly, uh, Kansas State. I want to say Texas Tech was in there as well. I don't think Texas Tech was in there, but there were two other programs. And Arizona State happened to go 4-0, so they held the proverbial 1A seed. And then you had a tie between BYU and Iowa State. And then that's when it came down to strength of schedule. BYU just happened to face a more inferior competition whose record ended up being 31-50 when you total all of their opponents' records. And Iowa State, I believe their opponent record was something like 36-46, something like that. So just a couple more wins, a little bit better on a record margin. And that's what got Iowa State punched their ticket into the Big 12 championship game versus Arizona State. And funny enough, if Colorado would have beat Texas Tech earlier, no, Colorado did. I think they did beat Texas Tech. I think they did beat Texas Tech. Um, but funny enough, it was something on the like Texas Tech came down into the mix of because I think Arizona State and Iowa State and BYU all lost to Texas Tech, if I'm not mistaken. But there was some funny line in where if Colorado did make it in, it would have been because of Texas Tech. But anyway, they're eliminated, and we'll be looking forward to the futures of Travis Hunter, Shadur Sanders, and of course Shiloh Sanders as well, and of course Deion Sanders as well. As it is projected that these gentlemen will be moving on to the NFL, I believe Travis Hunter has been getting a lot of attention, a lot of hype, and some people are speculating he'll be the number one pick in the NFL draft. We'll see. Shadur Sanders is projected to be, I think, number 9, but at least a top 10 pick. Um, and then Shiloh, we'll see what happens with him. Deion Sanders has been rumored to be in the hunt, or not even in the hunt, but he's been rumored to be Jerry Jones' favorite to take over Mike McCarthy's job as the Dallas Cowboys head coach. As that the Dallas Cowboys season has totally gone off the rails at this point. They're due for a fresh start, some new faces, all that kind of stuff. So I can easily see Deion Sanders taking up that role. He took on a lot of pressure, at Colorado, so I believe he'll be able to handle the Dallas Cowboy intense pressure that you deal with just being associated to that organization. I can see that happening. We'll see if Jerry Jones is up for it as well. So it's just at this point for Colorado. I mean, I don't know exactly what they'll be playing for or when their next game is and how everything's going to pan out, shake out for them. But yeah, man, it was a nice ride, right? It all started with that 3-game win streak last season. I believe it opened up with a win against TCU or Nebraska. Um, and from that point, I was like, guys, I'm watching this Monday night football game between the Browns and the Denver Broncos. Looked like a good one. They get an interception. But yeah, man. Excuse me, Colorado. We'll see what happens with this program. I know Deion Sanders did recruit a top quarterback over there as well, so we'll see what that young kid could do. Even if Deion Sanders stays, we'll see what excitement the Colorado Buffalo program can keep keep going. And as far as these guys, the Sanders family and Travis Hunter, we'll see what shakes out for them. But I just wanted to announce that they were eliminated from real football contention. And it kind of goes back to what I've been saying about this team all along. They've been very fun to watch. But when it came down to the biggest games, the games that had the most implications, tied to them, it seems almost as if Colorado lost every last one of those games, with the exception of a few. But every last one of those games they seem to have lost, including this season games to Kansas and Kansas State. Just something I couldn't wrap my head around. I mean, I don't think the team was overall talented enough to compete with some of these more established programs, namely like a Kansas State. Kansas is a pretty good program too, but Kansas State is a little bit more established. But you're talking about these programs that have been in place for decades. I didn't think that Deion Sanders would be able to just come and compete with him off the rip. I thought maybe if Deion had a real life, long term future in college football, then heck yeah, I would have put my money down that eventually Deion would have an elite program going on. And we would have seen him reach some heights in college football that he wasn't able to reach in his time. I'm saying this as a foregone conclusion. I feel like Dion is going to move on to the Cowboys, but he may very well stay with the Colorado Buffaloes. We got to see how things are going to shake out. But I think that if Deion Sanders stayed with Colorado or gotten with the program that he could build from the ground up, then definitely he could find some success in the college football realms. But not just in this time frame that he's had these last two seasons. Again, I feel like they were fun to watch, but I never really took the Colorado Buffaloes seriously. I mean, me personally, but they've been eliminated from playoff contention, so we'll see what happens from this point on with them and the Sanders family. That's all I got for y'all on this video. Please like the video, share the video, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel as well if you haven't already. Please subscribe to the channel as I drop content daily, go live daily, stay very busy on the platform. And last but not least, please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section, as I'm always intrigued to hear about what you all have to say about these sports topics. I am Tony the Savant. Thank you all for the support. Peace.